Wisconsin is the home to one of the major suppliers of glass for residential windows and doors in this country. In fact, over the past few years, all the window glass for our projects have come from this factory right here. So today, we get to take a tour.
What happened to all this plumbing here?
I've never seen anything like this before.
There's already rot going on in that trunk.
So what have you found up here?
Well, a bit of a surprise.
It's really the classic plumber's lament.
Nice.
See this main form? We're just going to pull that forward till it's even where this existing deck is.
Definitely says mid-century modern.
Money's in the details.
That is beautiful. Hi there, I'm Kevin O'Connor, and welcome back to this old house here in Brookline, Massachusetts, where we are working on this mid-century modern home originally built in 1957. As you can see, we continue to make good progress with the exterior siding. On the additions, the siding is going up horizontally, and we've got it both painted and clear here on the front. And for the original building, which is right here in the middle, you can see that it has gone up vertically. That's the way we're going to keep it. Now that is a quintessential look of a mid-century modern house, as is all of the glass on this building. You can see we've got a lot of large asymmetrical windows all throughout the house. Now, even though we have been making glass for thousands of years, the way the glass is made for our new windows is even different from the way that they were made back in 1957. So Richard has gone to the Midwest to see the new technology that has come to glass.
The first record of glass being manufactured goes back to 3000 BC. And since that long ago time, the process has always included superheating silica or sand, turning into molten glass. Then they either blew the glass or pulled it, shaped it, and tried to turn it into flat sheets that could be used as windows. Well, in the 1950s, a technique was perfected called float glass. And float glass is how almost all windows on this planet are manufactured now, today. Now, Jan Witt is in charge of quality assurance here. Jan, what is float glass?
Float glass is the process of creating a silica batch. And we melt that material and float it over molten tin.
Like a big river of glass that goes over the tin.
Right. So we use about 60% sand. Our cullet is our broken recycled glass.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
That makes up about 25% of our batch.
Okay.
And then the remaining materials create the rest of
So
the...
what do you got? The 12 different pieces of the recipe?
12 different ingredients that we mix together.
Great. How do you bring it all together?
Well, let's go see.
All right.
The materials that we just saw, this is how we bring them into the plant. A lot of them come in by rail. So we receive all of those materials and then we store them in our large silo. You can see the silo is split into 12 different pie-shaped compartments.
Oh yeah, sand, limestone, all the ingredients.
Right, and then we
All
weigh
up
up. And then we weigh up each of those materials individually on the scales. Once everything's weighed up, it dumps into the mixer. Once everything is thoroughly mixed, we dump everything onto a conveyor and then transport that material across to a bin behind the furnace so we can melt everything.
Heat it up.
Right. So our batch feeds in from the batch house into the furnace here.
Right here?
Our furnace runs about 3,000 degrees. We use about $500,000 of natural gas a month to
Every
heat that
month.
furnace.
Wow.
The furnace itself holds about 2,000 gallons of melted glass.
Okay.
And what we're feeding in right now, we'll see as glass in about 6 hours.
Okay.
So show us what it looks like melting.
Oh, look at that. So it's already turned to goo. It's already turned molten. So this is all filled with molten glass?
Yes. And when the glass comes to the canal, at this point it flows into the tin bath. In the tin bath we melt tin, varies between 2 and 4 inches in depth.
Yeah.
As the glass pours in, it's about 1/4 of an inch thick. It spreads out over that molten tin, and then we're able to start putting those top row machines out on the very edges and stretch that to the width and thickness
So you
that
can
we need.
stretch it like a taffy, pulling it to a sheet.
Right.
Each one of them pulls it a little bit more, pulls it a
Right.
little more, so
Right.
it becomes a narrow sheet. Does this leave a mark in the glass?
Yes, it does. And then we cut that off and recycle it.
Good.
Here we go. off of the tin.
Oh yeah, I can see it moving along there. The tin end's right there, and then it continues. Oh, it's moving right along too, isn't it?
Right. And then we look at the exit here, and we can see the whole ribbon of glass.
Oh, look at that. And it really is formed beautiful. Look how clear and clean it is. All right, how hot is the glass at this point?
About 625 degrees Celsius.
So still plenty hot.
Right. From here, clear down to that overhead door, we're going to cool that glass down.
This
so
whole
we
thing is
cut
to
it.
cool the glass.
Right. The glass is now cooled. We're ready to start inspecting it, cutting it. We start by looking at the thickness, and then we'll inspect the glass itself for any defects.
Okay, I'll make an impression right here, and it follows it all the way through.
Right.
So this is our glass. Can I touch it?
Yes.
Okay.
So you can see the
So it's
ripple
glass. You
pattern.
can feel it's still got a little bit of temperature, and you can see those ridges in there from the top roll.
Right, we'll cut those off and recycle all of that.
Oh, it's just so beautiful. My goodness.
The defect system sees the defect within the glass. Once the glass passes through here, we're able to spray paint any piece of the glass with the defect.
Oh, it's a little spray gun. Oh, look at that. It just put a little pink dot on it, so that must have been a bad piece.
Then that glass gets down to the packers. The visual sign that it's bad, we recycle it.
Nothing gets out of here unless it's perfect.
Right. The glass has now traveled 450 feet since it came off the tin. It's time to start scoring it.
Okay.
Making the cuts the long direction of that ribbon is fairly simple. Here we're making all the cuts going across the glass. You can see it's at an angle.
So that's not as easy, is it? Because this is moving. You put this thing at an angle, and it has to come back at the exact same speed as it's moving this way to make a perpendicular cut.
Absolutely.
That is so smart. All right, so here's those marks in the top roller. And just like that, it's gone.
Right, we recycle that as cullet, one of the ingredients we saw when we started.
Nothing gets wasted.
Right. We take the glass off the line both manually and robotically. This is one of our manual packing lines.
Look at this. There's one of our pink dots here.
When that gets to the packers, they'll break off that edge and throw it down the chute so we're able to recycle it.
Oh, look at that. Perfect.
The glass is packed onto the racks. We've packaged everything so that the glass is secure. We won't have breakage. It's ready to ship out of here. Now we're just shrink wrapping it.
All right. So the windows for our house in Brookline, do they actually come through here, get shipped right out of here?
Just like this.
This is so cool.
So now we've packaged all of our glass. It's ready to ship out. We typically ship 35 to 40 semi-loads of glass every day.
And that is on its way to another factory where it'll turn it into operational windows.
Right, it'll be tempered, coated, laminated, insulated, made into those energy-efficient windows.
Right. Well, thank you for this fabulous tour. We learned a lot. It was great.
Thank you. Good luck with your Brookline windows.
I will actually think of you when I look through the glass.
Good.
You can see that the bank of kitchen windows are already in, and the biggest window in the entire house, going up right here, is going in today. Hey guys, Steve, Tommy,
Kevin.
Carly.
Hey, Kevin.
How are you?
All right. Oh, that's a big window, right? It's going to be above a wall of glass. There's going to be accordion doors. And what's the
Right.
dimension of this, Tommy?
Well, it's 13.3 long.
Yeah.
It's about 43 inches high on that side, down to 18.5 inches on that side, and that's to make the pitch of the roof.
Right.
It's made up of 4 separate units that are all mulled together,
Yeah.
and like I said, that will follow the pitch.
And we've got 2 panes of glass.
Double pane insulated glass, aluminum clad on the outside, and painted wood on the inside.
Nice. And so first process here is to get some weather stripping down.
Yeah, we want to seal up the inside of the opening, wrap it around onto the face of the sheathing. So we're going to put some tape on first. We're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. We want to seal this cut. To do that, we're going to use a different kind of tape. This is flexible, so we're going to start on the bottom and work our way up. And now we can stretch this tape right around and bend it to seal that crack. corners sealed. Next thing we do, we're going to take this tape again, and we're going to go right up the side and up to the header. All right, I think we're ready for the window. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Up.
Down to you, Steve. Down to you.
All right, so put your bar in down there and just pull it over. That's it? Okay, we can nail it off. So we're going to put a nail in every one of these holes. We're going to retape over this nailing flange and tight to the window. Before we do that, fill this gap right here with caulking. One on the top and the bottom. All right, that's good. I want to get the tape under the window. I want to get it up under the flange like that, right there. Roll it right around that little corner to fill that joint. And then I'll push it down onto the wall. By this being tight right there, that fills that gap. Alright, now this window is sealed against any air infiltration or water. Nice and tight. Alright, get all those flanges screwed up, Kevin?
That's the last one right there.
Alright, good.
All tipped back, all screwed in.
Alright, so let's get all these ladders and these staging out of here. We can get going on this door. Close this place up because it's starting to get cold.
Looks good already, Tommy.
Yeah,
Nice.
Big difference. Pick it up and tip it back slightly. Ready?
A little to you. A little more to you.
Wait a minute. Clean it up. All right, let's bend the flange out. Just a bit. Look at that.
We have got a portable heater going right now, and that's because it is below freezing outside. It also explains why we've got the tarps hanging off the back side of the house. We're trying to protect the workers who are in here. This is quite an operation. Hey, Mauro.
Kevin, how you doing?
You are one of the workers we're trying to protect. We are trying to heat it up in here because you've got to paint the house. Actually, technically paint, right?
That's actually paint. What you see here is a full body solid stain.
Full body solid stain.
Exactly.
On the vertical siding,
vertical
which is the original house.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then right next to it, we've got the horizontal siding.
Right here we have the clear cedar, and what the homeowners want is a semi-transparent stain,
Yeah.
which will show us a lot of the grain and some color showing.
That combination of the two different colors is pretty typical for a mid-century modern house. I think
Absolutely.
they've nailed it there. Let's talk about the protection, though, that we get from each. You guys had pre-primed all this material, right?
Absolutely. This will last from 5 to 7 years. You will have to recoat it. 7 years because we brought all the siding to Charlie's shop and we primed all 4 sides.
Gotcha.
All right.
And then we're putting that top coat on today.
Then we're going to put the first coat on today.
Yep. And so 7 years for that on the semi-transparent. Looks beautiful. We're going to get a little less protection.
Absolutely. This will take about 2 to 3 years. You're going to have to recoat it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, comes with the territory. So all of this is going to paint when it's warm.
Well, here's the thing. We primed it and we're ready to paint, but there's a problem. It's about 25 degrees out there.
Yeah.
That's right. Look at this. Paint manufacturers recommend 35 degrees and up.
Okay.
Let's say it's 35 degrees today out there. I need at least 4 hours with 35 degrees in order for the paint to dry naturally.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, you pulled it off. I mean, it's got to be a good 25, 30 degrees warmer in here.
Here for me.
Look, one of you guys is working in a t-shirt.
T-shirt, see? That's
So,
cool.
let's just say you didn't follow the manufacturer's recommendation. Someone tried to sneak it in, stain in the cold weather. What happens?
Absolutely, I see that happens a lot. That's not a good thing, but I got a good one for you. I'm going to show you what.
What do you got?
I got here, let's say for the natural cedar,
Yeah.
I got this 2 samples here. One was applied with the natural weather, with a good temperature.
Nice and clear.
Nice and clear, even finish throughout. This one here was left out on the coat, all right? And you can see it, the paint never dries right. And
Yeah.
you can't have a nice finished coat on.
That's a pretty good example right
Yes,
there.
it's gonna blotch it. You're gonna see lap marks, you're gonna see brush marks all in there.
And do you get the same effects on the full body?
You have most of it is like the same situation as that one there. This was dry with the right temperature, okay, above 35 degrees.
Yeah.
This one here was left on the coat, lower than 35 degrees. You can see the difference on the finish, nice and smooth. And there's flashes, there's brush marks, it never dries right.
A little less apparent, but certainly you can see the blotches.
You can see it there. You can see it flashing throughout this piece of sample here.
All right, well, the schedule is what it is. We have got to stay in the house, so this is the right thing to do, and you're getting ready to finish this up?
We're gonna finish this section here. We gotta let it dry for at least 5 to 6 hours, and then we can apply the second coat and call it done.
This small driveway allows us access into the garage right here. But as you can see, it pitches from a high point here at the street down towards the building. So any rainwater needs to be collected by this trench drain right here. The trench drain is going to tie into these big storage tanks, these stormwater tanks that were installed just this week. That'll handle the rain. But what happens when it snows? Well, the BILO team is in the middle of putting in a solution that anybody who lives in the snow belt would love, a heated driveway. All right, so how many circuits you got planned here, Kevin?
5 total circuits, Richard.
All right, so with snow melt across here, and by the time you got a third of the way across, all the heat would be gone. You wouldn't be able to get the rest of it. So this is one complete circuit right here, up and back serpentine, and this is this will handle this corner right here.
4 more to go.
4 more to go. Let's go. So we step the tubing in.
And I like to use a staple gun, Richard, especially with the size of the tubing outside.
Right. Now, with snow melting, we need bigger tubing than we would need inside. So we're using a PEX here, that's a super plastic that won't get brittle. And this is larger size tubing than we'd use inside because we need to carry more energy. Boy, it couldn't be easier with this grid. Here we go. That'll work. All right, Kevin, so that's your last circuit.
One more connection.
All right, you got to pressurize,
Pressurize 100 PSI
and then you're ready for concrete.
and melt some snow.
Not just in time. Thanks for your great work as
Thank
always,
you,
guys.
Rich.
Last week, we installed a fairly elaborate storm water treatment system. It's a couple tanks buried under the eventual driveway, and that's to handle all of the rainwater runoff that comes from this project. And today, Roger and his guys are installing another component of that treatment system. Hey, Jen.
Hey, Kevin.
And I guess sort of unsuspectingly, the other part of that system is a patio.
This whole area is going to be a patio,
Right.
like a sunken patio. So they'll come out of the doors and then walk down into this little sanctuary, right?
Yeah.
All this will be permeable pavers in the
Okay.
middle, and then out here they're going to have a sitting wall, and that'll kind of confine the area.
Separate the street from
Yeah.
the private space. This is going to be eventually the front of the house.
Correct. So this
Yeah.
will be sitting wall. Then you'll have plantings to add for some privacy, and then a fence along the roadside.
Okay. And so patio goes from, I see a yellow line there, from that corner, how far over to here?
It goes all the way over to this little bump out in the house.
Yep.
And then, so it's a pretty big area. And this whole area is going to be permeable pavers, right? So this whole drainage system that we've done over there, everything is going to go to the all the downspouts are connected, and there's about 40 tons of crushed stone here.
Right here, underneath. All of this.
And beneath that are perforated pipes. There's 2 of them. So the water will go through the stone to the perforated pipes, send it out to the tank.
Gotcha. So you keep talking about permeable pavers. You were on the shopping trip.
Yep.
These have been on the job site for a little bit. This is not permeable.
It's definitely not going to go through that. What makes this permeable is the spacers, the joints, and the water will travel through the joints through the perforated stone, through the stone into the drainage.
Got it. All right, well, let's see how Roger and his guys are putting it in.
Okay, so this is all coming together. These are the concrete pavers that are all put down in this running bond pattern.
Yep.
They're also going to continue as a walkway over to the front door. So that's going to be the connection point in this patio. And then coming out this way, so this is the end of the patio, and this is where this stone sitting wall is. It's actually not stone, it's a concrete sitting wall.
Similar material, just different dimension.
Correct. And it's going to be 18, 22 inches high, so it'll act as additional seating.
Nice.
Okay, with most of the patio set, we are just taking sweep some of the material we've been using for bedding to fill in all the joints. Just taking work it back and forth, and when we're done, you can't even tell there was a joint there.
And so all the water is just going to filter right through that stone, down into the ground, into our drainage system.
That's the plan.
All right. Well, looking good so far. A little bit more to do in that direction, but going to be a good looking patio, Roger.
It is. It's already a good looking patio.
That's right.
That is a wrap for us here at our Mid-Century Modern in Brookline. And next week, we're actually going to visit a house we did 20 years ago. And guess where that is?
Where?
Key West, Florida.
Can I go?
I'm going. So until then, I'm Kevin O'Connor.
I'm Roger Cook.
I'm Jen Nawada.
For This Old House here in Brookline.
So let's go someplace cold for a change.
Key West.
I want to know.
They bring shorts or a bathing suit? Next time on This Old House.
For a modern look, we install doors and windows with no trim. But in this case, because the mid-century modern trim is so small, we're actually using the jambs as the trim.
Right, that's basically going to be the finished look right now.
We're installing modern cabinets the old-fashioned way. It's pretty close. Front. That's definitely out.
Yeah, you guys bring it up.
Adjust the legs a little bit.
For more of This Old House, go to pbs.org/thisoldhouse, where you can watch full episodes anytime. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This Old House magazine, the companion to our television series, provides trusted information from our team of experts. You can use your credit card to subscribe for 1 year. That's 6 issues for $10. Just call 1-800-221-5900.